Okay, so for today's video, something completely different. It's my Mazda MX6, my 98 Mazda MX6. A car that I think is the most bang you can get for your buck. Watch the video and see if you agree.
We're going to pull away and we're going to start with that. Let's have a look. Okay, so a fun video today. I'm not in a Mercedes at all. I'm actually in a Mazda. To be fair, it is the top of the range Mazda in 1990s in South Africa that was available here. And it's a Mazda MX6. So it's a car with a 2.5 litre V6, 24 valve V6. That isn't particularly powerful. It's 121 odd kilowatts and it's got a torque of about 217 Newton meters. Fairly high up as well. The torque peak's about 4,800 revs a minute, and the power peak is about 5,400 if I'm not mistaken. But that's not really the point of the car. These are exceptionally good value these days. You can pick up a really, really nice one for under 70,000 Rand, and there's many from around 30, 40, up 50. There's lots for sale at that sort of price range. And I believe in that sort of price range, you're going to have to look very, very hard to find a car that can provide you with more fun and excitement than this old Mazda. And that's the reason I bought it. And just going briefly through the car, I mean, everything works in it. The windows work, the aircon's ice cold, it's got power steering. It doesn't have airbags. I see the ones produced in the States did. The South African ones don't, but it does have ABS. And even the electric aerial works unbelievably. All the windows. It's done about, this particular example, it's done about 217,000 Ks. I bought it this past week down in the garden route, and we shut down on Sunday morning, and I just picked it up quickly. And man, you're absolutely effortless driving it back. And coming back and then driving it around town a bit like a hooligan. I used a little under 9 liters per 100 Ks. I think it was 8.8, somewhere around there. So it's actually not too bad on fuel either if you're used to driving what I'm used to driving. It's really not too bad. But the purpose of this car really is just fun. And it's got exceptional road holding. It's really firm. It is front wheel drive. It's not rear wheel drive. But I mean, it's really, really sporty actually. And this has got a branch on. So possibly puts on a little bit more than the 121 kilowatts that it came from the factory with, but that's also irrelevant really. What puts a smile on your face is the sound it makes. And I thought it was actually too loud initially, and it is very, very loud, but it just suits the character of the car. And that's really what this is about. I mean, we're looking at spending little money and getting the most bang out of your buck, and you're going to, as I say, you're going to have to look very, very far to find something that's better than that in this price range. And it's fast enough as well. It does 0 to 100 in around 8.2 seconds, which in the 90s was okay. It wasn't particularly fast, but it also wasn't slow. And it has a top speed, according to Car Magazine, of around 220 k's an hour. Obviously at different times, so at 120 it's revving at 3.5, so a little bit higher than it would be, but it's got a very nice progressive linear power curve. So if I'm here, I'm about 3,000 revs here, and I want to accelerate to get past this truck, I floor it. And just like that, we passed. And we passed sounding like a Ferrari. And that's the thing I love about this car, just the sound. I know I'm an infant, but yeah, I suppose it works for me. As I say, the aircon works. It's really, I mean, it was the top of the range Mazda, as I said earlier. The other thing that really struck me about it is the condition of the leather. And I mean, it's really flawless in the front seats here. If I move my jacket, my daughter Bella is with me, today. Bella, by the way, is my daughter, and she came into Old Merc Guy when she finished school, when she turned 18, and then she did a degree while she worked with Old Merc Guy, and then started Bell Benz. She deals in Mercedes. You can see her often mention Bell Benz. Well, Bell Benz is Bella's company, and she sells cars. I don't as a business. I do spares, and obviously I do the platforms and the marketing side of things. But Bella is the one who sells cars. So Bella is also the one who does all the filming and is with us on all these videos. So that just gives you like an idea of how it's structured here. So Bella does that and the cars, and obviously works with Old Merc on the spares as well. And a lot of you have dealt with her over the years. And an absolute Merc fanatic. She's owned a number of them herself, and drives a 240D that she doesn't ever seem to want to part with. So anyway, it gives you a bit of background. But getting back to the car. Okay. As you can hear, let me open the window a little bit and maybe we can hear that. I love the sound of a 24 valve V6. And it's just so effortless as well. Car weighs around 1,200 kilos. And as I said, it's a 24 valve V6, 2.5 litre. And these cars were manufactured in the States as well, and Japan. And yeah, we were lucky enough to get them. A lot of the mechanicals, well, it's in the Ford Probe in the States, share a lot of the architecture and the mechanical side of things, the engine, gearbox, all of that's the same. And here in South Africa, we had obviously the link with Ford. And we had a range, the equivalent Ford range of sedans called the Telstars. And they came in everything from a 2-litre 16 valve through to this engine here as well. And Ford had the 4-door, the sedans. And it had a 5-door hatchback called the TX5, which also had the 2.5 V6. And Mazda obviously had the range of sedans called the 66. And the MX6 was the top of the range of that. So it didn't have a 5-door, it had a coupe. And that's how this also sort of slots in. And they did them here from 93 till 98. And I remember back in the day, I was always very, very tempted to get one. But they weren't cheap cars back then. You know, they were more or less the same price as the 325 BM. And later the 328 BM. And you know, it was that sort of price. So it wasn't a great value proposition back then because you didn't have airbags. I remember in the 90s looking at cars, you know, it was important to me. I bought a C-Class, and it was about the same price as this. The C200 that I bought was about the same price as the Mazda MX6 back in the day. And they're so underrated, these cars, that you can pick them up for the prices that you can. And the fact that they're basically bulletproof. It's a non-interference engine, this V6. So should the cam bolt snap through neglect and not having changed it and stuff like that, it's not interference. So, you know, there's no bending of valves or anything like that. Just change the cam bolt and you're back on your way. And set the timing, obviously. But, yeah, it's a bulletproof engine, these KLs. Really bulletproof and very, very nice sounding, and yeah, just love it. As I said, it's done 217. I've bought all the service parts. I'm going to be doing the cam bolts as well as a precaution, and really enjoying driving it. I'm picking up the keys every single day, and as noisy as it is, it's a lot of fun, eh? So I'll carry on doing when we get out of traffic here. I'll carry on doing a bit of a open road video on it. But before we do that, let me just put it in third here. So we had about 3,000 revs. And if I floor it, it goes so nicely.
Okay, so now that we've done the driving video through town, let's take a walk around the car. And after that, we'll do an acceleration test. I'll get onto the freeway, give it a bit of a run, show you what it's like to overtake, and enjoy. So for the walk around portion of this 1998 Mazda MX6 video. Yeah, we'll just have a look. It's got the original rims. The rims have been sprayed. They should be silver. I haven't decided yet what I want to do with it, whether I'm going to put bigger rims on or just leave them standard, revert to the silver, or leave them black. I don't mind the black. I actually like it. Looks quite nice. It needs a respray, and I have booked it in for that. It's going to go in a couple of weeks. And the clear coat here on the back is gone, so I'm going to get that done. In fact, I'm just going to respray the whole car. The bonnet as well has a couple of little imperfections on, so get that all sorted out. But other than that, there's no rust on it. There's no dents. There's no scratches. There's a couple of spots here where the paint is a bit damaged. But yeah, the lights work very well. It has those projector beam, I think they're called Epsilon lights or whatever they were from the 90s. It's got those. And certainly a sporty looking car, and pretty low as well. The other thing I need to do is new struts on the boot, but it's got a reasonably sized boot. It's a bit shallow, but it's pretty long, and the seats do fold down as well in the back, so you can put longer things in. And it's got a tow bar, this one, as well. But the most telling thing is, have a look at the interior here. And it's not clean. I've been using it. It needs a bit of leather dye here. The leather's actually just been worn off a bit, so I might look for better or get it recovered, or maybe just get that re-dyed. But look at the seats themselves. I mean, there's no tears or anything inside there. And climate control. The back seat's got a bit of a tear, which I'm going to get sorted out. Let me open this up here, and that create a bit more space. As you can see, it's electric forward and backward motion. There you can see that needs a bit of work. But I'm looking at buying a complete another MX6 as a donor, and the ones that I've looked at have actually got a nice back seat, so that's going to resolve that issue. Leave that back. Open up the bonnet for you. I see somebody, I need to run it down to an auto electrician as well. The lights are fine, it works perfectly, but I don't know why this aftermarket little switches here for lights, and this thing is also here. It's a bit confusing. They all work, but I'm not sure why that's been done. So I'll run it down to an auto electrician, let him have a look at it, and just resolve that. But there we go. So yeah, quite a full engine bay. Not a lot of space, I guess, in these, but yeah, it fits. A 2.5 V6, 24 valve, and it has resonant valves in the intake as well, so it changes the length of the intake, very similar to M104 and a Mercedes E320. So at different revs, the valve opens and closes, changes the length of the intake manifold, and increases the torque at different levels. So a very interesting system. Mazda, this was the first engine that Mazda actually introduced it on. And yeah, so very, very, very full. Probably going to get the cam belt done, and yeah, it's a sort of job that definitely somebody has a lot more qualifications and experience than me going to tackle. There's not a lot of space to do it in here, but yeah, so that's something I'm going to do. Here's the cruise control. Yeah, really full engine bay for sure, but just a nice looking car, I think, anyway. And the interior is stunning in black. Those that I've seen, in these cars, either yellow or they're white or they're red, and they all have the black interior. The passenger seat isn't electric, but yeah, there's enough space at the back for an adult to be comfortable, providing you're not too tall. The glass over here, if you have a look at the back of the seat is here, so the glass does start impacting a bit on your headroom. But certainly for shorter distances, it's fine, and my young son loves it inside there. And yeah, all the mud flaps are there. If you're looking for a fun car to drive on a daily basis, I mean, it's a Japanese car. Everything just works. The aircon works, the windows work, it's fine. The brakes work. There's no warning lights. There's nothing. If you're looking for a car like that, as I keep saying, you're going to have to look a lot harder to find something that's better value than this. Anyway, with that cough, thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe to the channel. There's going to be a lot more coming. Okay, with that done, let's get on to that road test where we carry on with it, and let's get onto the freeway and see how it goes. Okay, so here we
just approaching the freeway here. We'll do like an acceleration test. What am I in? Third, fourth? Splurge with traffic here is always a bit of, I don't know if you're going to get a gap. But today we will go on the freeway. I'll give you an idea of overtaking acceleration and stuff like that. A bit of traffic here. So you can hear it's actually pretty loud, the exhaust, particularly at lower revs. Funny enough, under 3,000 there's more of a resonance. It does quieten down a bit after that, but not by much. So let me drop it into third here to give you an idea of acceleration. Okay, so we're doing 70. Okay, 80. Okay, let me go. There we go, it gives you an idea. A lot of wind noise, a lot more than I'm used to in a Mercedes. Obviously, it's a different sort of car. And these frameless windows, on a bit of a windy day, they never do any favors. So, it gives you an idea how it goes there. So let's get it up. I'm just cruising along at 110. It's about 3,200 revs. It's in fifth. And other than the wind noise, it's actually a very comfortable place to be. The seats are very comfy. The driving position is very comfy. It's got an electric driver's seat as well. Certainly the base, the swab of it can be electrically adjusted up and down and back and forth. And Bella's sitting in the back there. What's it like, Bells?
Quite comfy, eh?
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. And have you got enough headroom with the glass?
If I put my glasses up, they touch the roof.
Okay. Okay, so let's do a bit of overtaking acceleration. I'm doing 105th. I'll floor it now, let's see, without changing down. Okay, there's 120. And we'll stay there. But that's also out of the torque peak. I mean, that's at about 3,200 revs. You're a good 1,500 revs below the torque peak. I'll show you the difference when I drop it down to fourth and do the same thing. So let's do that now. Let's get into this lane. Put a bit of distance between us and the car behind us. There we go. Fourth. Brings it up to 4,000 revs at 100. And if I floor it here, let's see. We also do third. It's redlined at 7,000. These cars. Or this motor rather. And the rev limiter kicks in at about 7,800. And they love it to no ill effect. I was reading a lot of road tests on it, period road tests, and as I was saying earlier, pretty bulletproof engines these, and thrive on revs, which may not work well in automatic or in the Ford equivalent of this, the TX5. I wouldn't think it would be very nice in a. It's a bit too frantic in a sedan or in sedate sort of thing. But the character of this car is a sporty one, and certainly that sort of driving and that sort of engine note and stuff suits it. And you have so much range. We just wait for the roadworks to clear here. I'm doing 100 now. Let me put it in third. Okay, so it takes it to 4.5. Let's floor it. A lot of power, a lot of fun as well, and it's sort of you forgive the shortcomings like the wind noise and stuff. It doesn't bother me as much as it would if I was driving a Mercedes and it was doing the same thing. That would really piss me off. But now that I've bought the car and I'm working through it, there are a couple of things I'm going to do, as you'll see from the walk around video, or the walk around portion of this video. And I'll look and see if I can't improve that wind noise a little bit. But generally, I love the sound of the exhaust, so I drive with the windows open. Most of the time, the radio is off. And yeah, I suppose it's horses for courses. If I wanted a nice, relaxed trip down to Cape Town, I probably wouldn't go in this. I would probably go in the Volvo or something like that, the S80 or one of the Mercedeses or something like that. But certainly, you can get it and could quite happily drive there without any issues. The difference is just the level of refinement. But to give you an idea, I mean, we've just been traveling through, gone through traffic, we've been going on the freeway. The temperature never changes. It's always exactly where it is there. Under half, just under half. It really feels bulletproof, this car. Got a bit of a rattle on the backboard as well that I'm going to need to tackle, which I will. Now this idiot here is trying to overtake us as the lane finishes. Oh, there we go. And we'll take the off-ramp here. And then I'll open the window and I'll accelerate from there. I wonder if these roadworks are ever going to end on this end too, yeah? Been carrying on for ages, yeah. There's a place to go past here. Tell me I need to go all the way to the next off-ramp. Oh no, here we go, yeah? There we go. Get in there. And very trackable as well. I mean, I can be in fifth, and I'll do that now. Now that we're going into a more rural type of road, I'll leave it in fifth, and I'll accelerate from say 60, and you'll see that even then, there's no hesitation. It's fine. It pulls quite nicely. But let me open up the window here. Open up both of them, actually. Okay, there's a car coming here. Better wait for that. Nice throaty roar this car has. Let me close those windows again. There we go, and put it in fifth and I'll show you how it's... Okay, so now in 60, in fifth, we're at about 1,800 revs, and bear in mind that the torque peak is only 4.8. Taxi here, doing what taxis do. But anyway, okay, let's get back to that. So get it down to about 60. There we go, and it's about 1,800 revs, as I said. So leaving it in fifth and accelerating now pulls very clearly, or cleanly rather. Let me get it down to 40. We try from there. There are no cars behind us. Let's try it from 50. Okay, there we go. It's just over 1,000 revs, 1,200. There we go. So though it's far away from the torque peak, it still pulls very cleanly from lower revs. And that's the beauty of this engine. But you can hear the resonance. And I might or might not, I'll have a look at what's actually been done with the exhaust in this car. And I might or might not add another box in the back, quieten it down a little bit. So I'll see how I get used to it and how it goes with the car. I really bought this car for fun. And I didn't want to spend a lot of money on something that's fun. And this sort of met the criteria for me. It's comfortable, it's fun, it's relatively luxurious. You have aircon, you have a degree of safety with ABS brakes. And I wouldn't suggest crashing it. I don't think, in terms of crash safety, there's there's much of that, as with any other 90s car. So, just drive carefully, but at least you can stop. What do you think, Bells? You've driven this car as well.
Yeah, it's nice to drive. It is fun.
Something very different, eh?
Yeah.
And I mean, more power than you would think at 120 kilowatts. It feels faster than that. It does actually.
Yeah.
And part of that is just the way that power is produced. It's so linear. We're going to be caught behind this truck now for a bit, so I think we'll carry on the video, or carry on with the video just now when we clear it. So just to give you an idea of just how firm this suspension is, I mean, this is quite a bumpy road, and you feel absolutely every bump in it. And it doesn't have low-profile tires. It's got the standard rims on the car. It is 15-inch. 205s on, I think it's 65, 15s or something like that. But yeah, you can see. That just goes and speaks to the character of the car. It's what you'd expect, and it's what you want, really. And yeah, I keep on saying it. I mean, it's very, very hard to find something with more bang for your buck than this car. Or one of these. I'm sure there's lots of cars under 70,000, but one that goes as well as this and handles like this and feels like this and sounds like this, yeah, difficult. And very flat. There's hardly any body roll. Drive through beautiful Ngqabecha here in the Eastern Cape of South Africa. If you haven't ever visited this place, yeah, undiscovered part of South Africa, really, it's not the first place tourists go, but it really is a lovely place to live. Been here for 25 years now, and you have everything that you're looking for in a city, but you also have a small town vibe, and it's really quite beautiful. Beautiful beaches and stuff, and you'll see on all our videos we do the same sort of routes from the old Mercar warehouse around the area. Just today we needed to go and pick up something, so I thought it'd be a nice time to do the video with Bella. But yeah, you can hear, I won't talk for a bit, I'll open the window and you can hear the sound of the car as we go down this pass. Beautiful gear change as well. Clutch action as well, really nice. Brake feels really nice. And you don't need to cane it. And that's a really nice thing about it. You can just drive normally, stick to the speed limits and still have a lot of fun.
Mazda MX6 done and dusted. Thanks for coming along for the drive, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you enjoy the sort of videos I put on this channel, please subscribe. There's many more to come in the next few weeks.